Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, March 15th, 2021. This meeting is remote and first order of business would be a roll call attendance vote. So Art?
Here.
Eric?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
Katie Grace?
Here.
And Tracy is here. Okay. Next item, meeting minutes.
Yeah. So an update on that. So I was corresponding back and forth with the new meeting minute taker. And she actually emailed me again today. She was doing a couple other boards first. And then she emailed me tonight. She's getting ready to do the Conservation Commission ones.
Okay.
So I recommend it for her to maybe, I don't know if this is appropriate or not or wise, but to maybe start with tonight's meeting and work her way the other way. And that way, if everyone could say their name clearly before they have any comments, that way she can start recognizing the faces, familiar faces when she watches the video. Because I think as she started in the first meeting in January, we weren't really saying the time or our names or
right.
And she might have a difficult time starting off in January. So maybe she starts off with tonight's meeting and work her way towards January. She'll be familiar by the time she gets the later or the earlier meeting minutes. But she will be starting those relatively soon. I've been corresponding back and forth. I'll certainly will help her as much as possible to speed things along.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I would go maybe just this meeting to start with and then start with the oldest.
Sure.
Because I think we have a statutory requirement for time frame, right? For approval of minutes.
You might, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure we're close to it if there is one.
Yeah, this will be our 6th meeting without minutes, so.
Yeah.
I guess with the cable, our names must appear on the screen when she's watching it though, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're all on Zoom.
Yeah, so that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's would be my recommendation. Just if they want to start tonight.
So I'm anticipating some minutes by the next meeting, which is 3 weeks. So we should have some time to get them to you.
Okay, good. Okay, mail notice of intent to sell chapter 61B land, Bald Hill Road.
Yep, I think I try to give everyone a copy. I downloaded, if no one's familiar with what chapter 61, I can kind of give you a real quick executive summary.
Sure.
I downloaded the pamphlet, so people, if you're interested in reading up on it, basically is everyone has land in Douglas, you get taxed on your land. If you put it into conservation land, not conservation, but they call it chapter 61, which is a conservation preservation type of statute. You have to have so much land and you get a tax break from the town of Douglas because the land is not going to get developed. And that's what there's chapter 61A is agricultural. I think B is more forestry land.
Yeah,
and if you take that land out of chapter 61, I think there's a 5 or 10 year period you have to have it in. If you take it out early, you have to have, I think you have to pay the back taxes, and then the town has the right of first refusal to purchase the land.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is why that goes to the selectmen. And I think they just notify all the boards regarding that.
Okay. Did anybody have an opinion on recommending us to exercise our right of first refusal to the Board of Selectmen?
I just wanted to double check, has this been to the Open Space Committee?
Has it been to open space?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
They make the same, actually the only official thing that Open Space does. And I was just curious because I have contacts in Open Space and I didn't think they'd met recently, but usually they only meet because one of these comes up. And they make the similar recommendation, and just to share based on my experience in that committee, they generally make the decision based on, is it abutting another piece of open space or not? is the land valuable to the town in some historical, natural, and or other significant way? So I'm just trying to get a location on this space. I opened up the plan, and I see the house plan. Where is the?
Do you know Bald Hill Road?
Yeah,
It's the very end.
it's the end of. Okay.
So when you go down Bald Hill, they developed the dirt road portion, the houses on both sides, and then when you get to about a half a mile down, there's a stone wall, and it's from that's pretty much, I think it's that stone wall in all the surrounding area on both sides.
And it did go to Douglas Open Space Committee.
Okay, and then Douglas recommended.
I don't know if they recommended anything yet. So if they met after February 24th.
Okay.
I can just double check.
Steve, I see a piece of land. It looks like 3 separate lots and a house on it. Is the house part of Chapter 61A? Or how is it? What part is Chapter 61?
I'm not too sure, Mark. It was kind of confusing with I saw the same thing. I think there was they did A&R plans at one time, so I think the house is probably not part of it. I think there was a couple A&R plans when you first go into that area to the left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they might be reconfiguring the areas, so it's tough to say with that plan.
What?
Yeah, so the house would be excluded. So a certain portion that's all disturbed would be excluded out of the acreage, but that's on a different lot. They are A&R lots. So this is just one of them.
So which are the lots that are being requested to be removed from 61?
It's
The one
just,
on either side as you go in?
well, they just have an offer on the 10.13 acres, and it's Exhibit A, which is shown on, it's parcel 1 shown on the plan, the A&R plan. Did we get a copy of that or no?
I don't see
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's right here.
If you scroll down,
Yep. Yeah, so it's the hatched. It is a bit messy.
it's a bit messy. Yeah.
It's a bit messy up there, but it's the parcel 1, it's 10.13 acres, and the purchase price is $110,000. So we could request the town to purchase that for $110,000.
It's pretty isolated. I don't think there would be any use in it.
I'm still trying to locate it.
Is it on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got it on the screen. I also have the Bald Hill area .jpeg up because that was on the Google Drive,
Right.
and I'm trying to locate it in the town.
All right, let me bring up the GIS.
Off of U Street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's south of Snet, but not anywhere near Snet. It's many, many house lots away from that.
Yes. It's a bit away.
Okay.
Unplug your computer. Did you eat everything?
Okay.
And it doesn't look like Open Space had a meeting yet.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing that says they have to go before us or after. There's no order. It doesn't
Right.
matter. We're all independent of one another. I was just curious if they made a different recommendation, but just based on what I'm looking at, I can guess what their recommendation would be.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen to not exercise our rights for first refusal, not exercise our rights under the first refusal.
If there are no question, I would make that motion that we recommend to the Board of Selectmen to not exercise their right of first refusal.
Okay.
Before we go forward, do we know if there's any jurisdictional areas on the site or any species to be concerned about?
That side, I'm not sure about the left side. I know on the right side, there's like a cranberry bog on the right side. I'm not familiar. I know there's hang on, let me bring up the town.
As far as the wetlands, like at the entrance, so there was nothing mapped. So as, you know, besides the species, I don't know yet. That's pretty easy to figure out with the overlay. But I'm just trying to get back there. So you can see that there would have been noted some wetlands on that A&R plan, so they don't have any at the entrance at least.
No, at their entrance? No.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that would be the only way we would know jurisdictional areas for like a BVW or a stream that would have been shown.
Is this coming up on the screen?
Yep.
All right, this is it. So I know there's a wet area down below on this side. So this is the area up in here.
Could you just put the overlay on? The layers. Thank you.
Slow.
Yeah, I know.
See that now?
Yeah, so we're talking about 6, correct?
7. Oh, 6.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're
Yeah,
talking about 6. So there's nothing at the entrance. It's across the way, which that one is also for sale. So that one will be coming in front of us too. Eventually. Mark, do you want to see the wildlife overlay? Mark? Hello? Is everybody frozen? Where is he?
I'm not frozen.
Oh, he's gone?
Oh, hi.
Shh. Okay, we lost him. So there's a motion. Do we want to wait for him?
Yeah, we probably should.
Where did he go?
I'll wait.
Okay, I'm just gonna look up the Oliver GIS just to report back to him on.
Might be just a technical problem he's having.
I'm sure.
Tracy, while we're waiting, just for timestamp purposes, the roll call was at 7:03 and Mike Greco was absent.
Okay, thank you.
The minutes discussion was at 7:04 and this discussion started at 7:06.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, we can just wait for him if we want. We can move on till he gets back.
We can
Okay.
table.
Yeah, we
table
can table it. Maybe his computer died or something.
Yeah.
And I will just tell you species estimated and priority. There are not any estimated or priority habitat overlays from GIS on this property.
There he is.
Mark?
I'm back. What did I miss?
We're
We're all
waiting for
done. We're ready to adjourn.
Oh, cool.
I did a quick check on all of our GIS. I don't see any estimated or priority habitat on this property.
All right, thank you.
So, motions made to not exercise our rights of first refusal to the selectmen. By Katie Grace, do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Art, roll call vote. Art,
Art Monmany, aye.
Eric,
Eric Harris, aye.
Katie Grace,
KG Dudley, aye.
and Mark.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry.
All right, next item is orders to be signed. I believe that Steve
That's
has
Tracy. That's-
all
that's
those
Tracy.
items in,
It's
um,
the GB.
mute him. Believe, Steve, you have all of the orders in your email.
Great, thank you.
Signed. So if you do not, I have a copy of them.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
Orders signed at 7:19.
Thank you. And then 7:20, follow-up violation notice 66 Cedar Street, clearing brush and trees next to Bad Luck Pond.
yep, so they didn't do any work. I went out there Saturday. Pretty much all the work was, all the large trees that were taken down were outside the jurisdiction, all the large pines. All the work they were doing, they said they dragged some of the slash and debris maybe into the buffer zone.
Mhm.
I took a video, I sent everyone a link on that. I think a lot of the work, they did started, there was some clearing of the undergrowth, like little tiny 1/4-inch shrub branch here and there. I think they stopped once they got the violation, or maybe it was inadvertently, as the guy said, they went a little too far, but nothing pretty much into the 50-foot buffer. So most of the work was outside of if there was a little brush clearing, shrubs, it should grow back relatively quickly. And it was mostly from the 50 to the 100, and then all the large stuff, all the large pines and everything were either on the other side of the house or near the house.
Okay. So board, what's your opinion on this?
Seems minor.
Okay. Eric, anything?
No.
Katie Grace, anything?
I think it's minor. If I got support for the rest of the board, I would recommend a fine of maybe $100 as opposed to the 300. But if I don't get support for that, I'm not going to have any of my feelings hurt.
Okay, thank you. Mark?
Steve, when the landowner, or not the landowner, but the neighbor sent the video, he was walking through like the Cedar swamp part with trails and cut downs and corduroy bridges and stuff like that, it looked like. Is that, but that, you didn't comment on that, it didn't seem like.
I didn't go, yeah, I didn't see that on their property. I can certainly, I went pretty much, it was on your land, according, that might be someone else's property.
Right.
They indicated it wasn't theirs. So I stuck right, pretty much I went to the right. There were someone did hang some big flagging and stuff. I think it might be one of the neighbors with a canoe across the area. I certainly can take another look deeper into the woods, into the state property. I think that might have been state property.
Okay.
If you want me to follow up with that again, but I stuck to pretty much around where they were doing the work with the logging and the clearing of the trees.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I think that we've done our due diligence on the inquiry, and I think that the work was not jurisdictional. So any work that's within the 100 was shrubbery clearing. So I would just close the violation. I don't think it was, I don't know, as far as the shrubbery is not considered a violation. So, do you want a formal vote, Steve? Or just, I mean, this is discussion.
If you have a if you have a consensus, that's fine.
Yeah, It's a consensus.
I think they got the point. I think they got, I think there's,
Tracy, I agree with you.
I think the important part is they got the intent and they know, inadvertently, they're not gonna go any further.
Yeah. Yep. And I did suggest probably like 8 years ago when we send out our tax bills or the water department bills to do a little slip like other towns do. Telling people, hey, if you're near wetland, and it's just like a little tiny slip like this, and they have a couple little things like, oh, if you're near this and you want to cut a tree, call the conservation. That never got off the ground.
I do have the pamphlet that we developed back then. I could send it out. I could send it to the commission if you want to take another look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we piggyback on one of the required mailings from the town, if we could piggyback in the envelope, I think that would be helpful for people because we do have a lot of wetlands in Douglas. I've seen it before.
I'll send everyone the brochure that we developed a few years back, and maybe I'll talk to the town.
I think that's a good idea, Tracy.
Thank you. Okay. So next item at 7:25, 41 Crescent Lane extension request. Okay. Steve, it's not expired, right?
They got the letter in like the day before.
Okay. And then we've never extended this one, correct?
Not this one, no.
Okay.
I think
Right.
it was approved like 3 years ago.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion to grant a 3-year extension for the order of conditions 0944 41 Crescent Lane.
So moved.
Motion made by Art. We have a second?
Second,
Second
by
by
Mark.
Mark. Roll call vote.
Mark Minnie, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, Steve, number 6, 726, question on dock repair and the need to file a permit.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, making sure that, I think this came up last fall, someone was repairing a dock. So Jack, who had the RDA on Lakeshore Drive, he's here tonight. He wants to know, maybe we can kind of go over if just repairing his dock constitutes a filing or not. So Jack, are you doing the aluminum? I took pictures of both.
Um,
Can you hear me?
yeah, name and address, please.
It's Jack Goodison, 55 Lakeshore Drive.
Okay,
I have 2 docks on the property. The one shown here is aluminum. It's got a couple of bent legs and there's a soft spot in the middle of the deck. So what I'd like to do is repair the 2 bent aluminum poles and put some decking on top of the existing decking to stiffen it up.
what's the extent of the repair for the poles?
They unbolt and slip out, and they're
Yeah.
on aluminum pads that sit on the ground.
Yeah,
I'm just going to put 2 back like kind.
okay. So you are looking to not do an RDA, right?
I prefer not to.
Yeah, it's a question of dock repairs. I know people,
Yeah, I mean,
Do you need a
It's
building
not
permit when you do
expanding.
this?
Hmm?
Do you need a building permit when you do a repair like this?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I did talk to Ken. I can't think of his last name, the town's building committee.
Fraser.
And he walked around the property last week with me, and it's kind of an educational thing. I talked about what I'd like to do. He mentioned to me that the docks were not part of his jurisdiction.
Okay.
Suggested that I contact Steve.
Here's the other one. Same thing, Jack?
Same thing here. They're 2-inch galvanized poles that sit on pads on the bottom, and they're rotted. I'd like to just slip down new poles. The decking is rotted in a few spots. I'd like to take up the old boards and just put down some fresh boards. Nothing would change in size or location.
Yeah, I think as far as, no expansion of the existing structure that's there, I would be okay with just reconstruction. As far as the impact on the bank or land under water body, you've got that minimal impact that's already being impacted. That's my opinion.
I agree with you, Tracy. It seems like a repair should be covered and no additional permitting is required.
Okay,
I agree. If there's no additional impact on the water resource, we should be okay with it.
I'm going to assume there's no machinery and you're not planning on digging and pouring cement.
No, absolutely not.
All right. Yeah, then it's okay. I think we're good.
Okay.
yeah, everything's a new dock in the Wetlands Production Act. So, okay, you're good to proceed.
Okay, I'll drop off. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
You're
thanks, Jack.
welcome. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. So Steve, we probably should make a policy just so that
Yeah.
people don't need to come to us. I don't know how you would word it, but something with just like replacement of existing posts, not adding or expanding.
Right.
So we should kind of make a policy on that, because I think we're going to get more than one of these coming up. So,
Right. Okay.
okay.
Have people come before us for dock permits in the past?
Yeah, not new ones, not
New ones.
repaired, really.
When
Not
we know about them, yeah, we haven't filed an RDA. Repairs, no, but we have a situation where neighbors will tell and stuff, so I'm not sure what it's like down there. So him being a new homeowner and he's got 2 docks, I figured just a CYA that. Explain what he was doing.
Yep.
You got to be careful if how you word that, Steve, though. You use words like minor or substantial or
Mhm.
the subjective terms, and folks will take them different ways,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I would think Webster may have a policy because they have a ton of docks. So I'll just poke around to see if any other towns have it.
Okay.
And kind of, you can keep that on file. We don't need to make it part of our local regs or anything. Just kind of a consensus on what the board thinks.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what other towns have. That being said, I'd rather have more people coming before us than less.
Right.
I really don't mind talking through these things in a meeting. I'd rather have that than have issues where there are potential violations because somebody thought they didn't have to come before the board. Again, I'd be interested to see what Webster and other towns have. Webster certainly has a lot of docks, but I don't know if that's a good model.
Yeah, I think obviously if someone's just pulling up some planks and putting down exact same planks, I mean, that's pretty much common sense. I mean, if they're moving
Right.
poles and right. How do you know it's a repair? I guess you know it when you see it.
Common sense is a funny thing.
Right. Right. I don't get too many of them, so but he asked, and I said, well, Might as well.
I certainly appreciate him coming in.
Okay, moving on. The old business, 7:33, 7 PM public hearing continued, Cedar Street and Webster Street Bridge Replacement Project. Do we have a number yet?
No, did you put the time down?
Yeah, 7:33.
I sent everyone photos. I don't know if everyone saw the photos. I can bring them up.
Yeah,
Did we get the green cards or whatever last time? The last meeting
We did, Mark, and I checked off and everyone was checked
okay, thanks.
that they were sent. Not all green cards came back, I don't believe, but all the certificates that they were mailed were we received.
If I took a ride out there, and it looks like, is Cedar Street scheduled to be closed, or is somebody just wanting to make that a private right of way? Because someone's posted some signs
okay.
up there.
And for why I wanted the green cards.
Yeah, so there's some litigation apparently going on.
There was, I think.
So my understanding is that issue is settled. It says so he never took the signs down. Those signs have been up there for over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's settled.
Yeah, because he's got on it that the decision's being appealed. And you know how those things can take forever. So I wasn't aware what the status was.
Just a little bit more of an update too. We just filed about 2 weeks ago. There was never an established right of way. So based on town meeting and surveyor's land, they established the right of way up from Webster Street all the way up. There was an existing right of way to the north of the bridge. So now there's a clear right of way all the way from Webster through this site area.
Name and address, please.
I'm sorry, Jim Noyes. I'm with Greenman Peterson, 181 Ballardvale Street in Wilmington.
Thank you. Yeah?
Hey, Mike Greco, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Okay, so we
Daylight
am I
saving?
doing this at 7:36? Does the applicant have any additional information? I just double checked the number, no number, so we've got to continue this again. I'll be right back.
I went out to the site today and I just wanted to comment because I thought in the last meeting we had been talking about that the old bridge was a steel box or the old bridge was a cement box. Somebody's going to correct me in a minute, but I observed that it had been cement and it looks like there had been some I'm going to call it erosion, and I'm thinking that I'm wrong because I don't think there's a lot of flow there. I'm just assuming it's just the natural degradation of the cement because there was a piece of rebar that was like poked out that like should have had cement around it, but no longer did. And I'm just assuming that I just want to be backed up. So the cement structure that was there is crumbling and the intent is to replace that with something else.
Yeah, Katie, I saw the same rebar that you're talking about.
The bridge at that site is actually, we don't even know how old the existing structure is. So what happened is, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, they came back and replaced the deck with a timber one because what was there previously was actually falling in.
Yep.
But the abutments and the structure that you see below actually all remained. So we don't know how old it is, but it is in rough shape. A lot of it is actually just stacked stone, so it's not going to fall down imminently or anything like that. But that's one of the reasons the bridge was actually slated for replacement.
Okay, yeah, that was interesting. I could see the sack zone and then kind of like the cement under in there that looks like a lot of it had already crumbled down, but that was okay from whatever previous construction before they even did the recovering.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when they recovered that. I think I was in college.
For a minute taker, Kim, could you say your name and address, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Kim Armstrong. I'm with GPI as well, 181 Ballardvale Street, Wilmington.
Thank you. Sorry.
No. Sorry.
So I thought I remember we had some discussion about a steel box. That's what's replacing this?
No, it's going to be a concrete box. It's reinforced concrete. There will be steel in it, but it's all covered with concrete.
Okay.
So,
Okay, board, any other questions for the applicant?
Is there any movement of the telephone pole? Does that get moved?
Yeah, it's Jim Noyes, GPI. Yes, there's 2 telephone poles that are going to get moved. That one right there by the culvert and one further up. We're flattening out that curve going up the hill. So there's 2 poles that are slated to be relocated. Those are also included in the NOI filing.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
And have we revised the NOI filing with the state on that replacement number?
I mean, we haven't got any comments back from the state yet. I presume that they would have, when they issue the file number, they usually give, submit comments with the notifications, and then we respond to that accordingly.
Yeah, they have the chart up with the disturbed and replacement, but you've got, but you were going to follow up on the proposed replacement is not really replacement, it's just back to its undisturbed status. So it looks like you're replacing something. Your temporary disturbance, you're trying to count as replacement. Remember, you were going to see what they presumed that to be, because they have the chart online. I know they didn't respond yet, but there's no way that they could know that it's temporary disturbance because of the way that the NOI was filled out.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to them before the next meeting.
Yeah. Steve, you remember my question, right?
About the not doing
The
application,
application.
not doing an application because of under 5,000 square feet of disturbance.
No, well, it's 500, but
500.
the application has on it that there's replacement being proposed. And
Right.
it's not replacement, it's just the temporarily disturbed areas are being left alone. It's only temporary,
Right.
but it's showing as you're replacing, it's like you're doing a replacement.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different ways to look at that. I mean, and what we've done here in the Southeast region is we've always reported whatever temporary impacts that we're going to have, whether it's bank vegetation or riverfront area. We've always reported those values as we did on the notice of intent. But again, every region of the DEP is different. So I'll follow up with them and we'll get that ironed out with them.
Yeah, they're not filling and creating, they're disturbing and replacing. So I don't know if that language is in the NOI.
Yeah, there's no way that they can tell that that's not getting replaced, or there's proposed additional wetlands being created, I guess. So
they're
yeah,
not creating new wetlands.
right. If you could just clarify that with them. There's no way on your submittal, there's no way that they could tell that that's, I don't think they can, but we'll see. So, okay. All right.
Does it seem like we're having a slower process getting DEP numbers than we used to have?
Yes.
Is that COVID related, do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
I just think they're extremely.
It has been about a month. I mean, we filed on February 11th.
Yeah, you got it. The filing date was February 26th, actually, that it's logged in online. So, okay, board, we ready to continue this to April 5th, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, I move that we continue this to, what was the date? April
5th.
5th at 7 p.m.
Motion's been made
second,
Second by Eric. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mike Greco with a question.
Yeah,
I came in late, so should I be abstaining from the votes here, or can I
No.
participate?
no, you were pretty close to the start. You were like a couple minutes, so
Oh,
no,
okay.
continuing.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you on the 5th.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay. Have a good night. Next, public hearing continued. 1007, lot number 18, JMT Sleepy Hollow, possible votes at 7:44 PM. Steve, you want to just give us a quick update on where we left off? I did miss the last hearing on this one.
All right, hang on, let me bring up the,
I'll be right back.
I assume you're picking up which file you want to
I
display.
am.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Some bold colors in there.
Oh, that was, the engineer did that. So I think is Tracy back?
Tracy's
No.
away for a moment.
Maybe I'll wait for her since she wasn't here.
Okay.
Maybe. I'll meet you upstairs. Okay.
Are you back? Okay.
Sorry about that. So we've made some improvements. Could we just run down the line for number 18?
Yeah, so I'll give you the overall view. So basically, 18 to 23 were discussed at the last meeting. They made a lot of revisions from the first meeting to the second meeting. This is the third meeting. And I think in a nutshell, 23, 22, 21, and 20, I think we're all pretty much acceptable to the commission. They left it open in case 18 and 19, some changes that were asked on 18 and 19 affected those. I'm not sure the engineer can get into that, but in pretty much, I think these four were pretty much buttoned up. There was some issues with some grading on 19 in the hillside and maybe some of the work that was in the buffer zone. And then 19 and then 18, which one we're on now, I think there's some questions on where when they came in for the water line, this is a pretty steep slope and they had some grading in this backyard and there was some concerns on how this grading was going to erode down this hillside and the use of the backyard and how to mitigate that issue. And I think they wanted looking for more to at least to have a little bit of a side yard for some people to get around the house. So I think the engineer is here. He can probably fill in a little bit more too.
Thank you, Steve. For the record, John Federico with Guerrier and Helmon. That is correct for your kind of recap of everything. We did end up adjusting grades and bringing up TOCs and eliminating any sort of walkouts where possible. And essentially, we were able to create a berm along the rear of 21 and 20 to help channel all the flows instead of going directly into the wetlands across the backyards. We'll have a shallow swale put in. And then all of that will ultimately head towards the detention area. We were also able, with that revision on 23, to pull out any sort of grading outside of the riverfront buffer as requested, and made sure that our disturbances in those areas close to the buffers, whether it be riverfront or the 50-foot no build, were kept as minimal as possible. In terms of 18 and 19, I do have larger plans on my screen that I can go through. Not really much has changed from the grading that occurred at the last meeting, but we did add in 2 short retaining walls to kind of help with the backyard area. And I can go over those in a little more detail. Not sure if you want to look at them on the 40 scale plan, But I do have a 20 scale where it has a little bit more information if the commission would like to see that.
I'd
And
like to
those
see
were also,
that.
sure, those were also uploaded to the Google Drive. Steve, if you wanted to pull those up on your own.
Do you have them too? You want to go through them? You want
Yeah,
control,
sure.
John?
If you don't mind, I can definitely pull them up for everyone.
Cable, can you give John some access to the share drive? I mean, to the share screen? You have access, John, or if not, I'll try.
I do have access now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Is everybody able to see a PDF of the plan up in front of you?
Yes.
All right, great. So this here is lot 18, and bear with me one moment. I can try to get a highlighter as well to kind of highlight some things. When we last discussed, we had a generic footprint here. We ended up reaching back out to the developer to see what sort of house footprint he's going to be doing. The house footprint that is proposed here now, it is right through this area. Apologies for the color. I can try to double check that in a moment for us. But this essentially is the new main portion of the house with the garage located on the side over here. This is a smaller footprint than originally proposed, but it is a little bit longer. So on this back side, we did get a few feet closer to where the wetland area and rear of the property line would be. But it's mostly occurring with the deck, which again would either be grassed underneath it or have some rock to allow for infiltration there. Because we had such tight grades where our bulkhead was, and we want to try to provide a little bit of a backyard for privacy, we are proposing now along this edge right here, outside of the 50-foot, outside of the 50-foot no build, a short retaining wall not to exceed 4 feet in height. We would have the post and rail fence as a delineation marker between that area, as previously discussed, to act kind of as our barrier there. And then essentially we're just trying to help flatten out the grades in between the back of the house and the bulkhead area. And again, just to allow a little bit more privacy for the folks here. In terms of the erosion control barrier and the proposed tree line, nothing has changed since the previous meeting. Again, we were all working within our constraints just to try to give us a little bit more of a usable lot. And then that's really all that's occurred here for real changes on this particular lot. We did try to tuck the house as far up into the corner as possible to try to avoid coming into this area with any sort of grading and or just any removal of the existing tree line that's there. And we feel that this is the most optimal design that we can come up with. And then also too, sorry for kind of jumping around, we did note in the past meeting that the detention basin has been sized to meet all pavement and house footprints that were previously shown. This is still the case, but we are now also proposing a small dry well on the downhill side just to help collect any roof leaders and runoff from the roofs, as well as anything from foundation drain. Again, just to kind of help with any additional impacts to help appease the commission's concerns there.
All right, thank you very much. Board for number 18, do we have any questions on this?
I have just one question. How much was the footprint of the house reduced in square feet or percentage?
I don't have the exact numbers. I can double check before we're done though. Essentially before we were proposing, I think it was like a 30 by 60 house, which was coming out to close to like 18 or 1900 square feet. This footprint is more along the lines of 1700 or so square feet. It's just a little bit of a different shape than the original rectangle we were proposing.
Yeah, I appreciate the shape, honestly. I do. I was wanted either a percentage or a square footage reduction for the end of the meeting is good.
Yeah, sure. I can double check that and follow up and as soon as we're done with these lots here.
Still 4 bedrooms, John?
Yes, nothing has changed in terms of the total bedroom counts or anything. It's just we now have a physical footprint that we're planning to use there.
Okay, so the septic size is the same and all that.
Yes, I believe the past iteration of the plan also did have the 2 rows for the for the septic system shown here. One of our iterations did have 3 rows, but this would be our final design that we're looking to get approved with the Board of Health as well.
Good.
If you want to do that calculation now, so we can close this hearing, because it's not really jump around here.
Sure. Let me see here real quick.
Because there was a garage under before, right?
In both cases, it wasn't going to be a garage under for these lots. We had garage sitting at about a foot lower than what our top of concrete was.
Okay. And while he's doing that, board, if we want to just think about any other questions for number 18.
With this new footprint, we're looking at about 1,526 square feet or so. Factoring in the little bump out in the front, I'd probably say would be closer to 1,600 square feet. And then the past footprints being shown at about 60 feet by 30 feet. We were looking at about 1,800 or so square feet. So this footprint has been reduced by approximately 200 or so square feet.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And
how will the easement be treated in terms of finish? Is it going to be grassed? Or is it going to be
as Andy, sure, as Andy had mentioned during the last meeting, what's going to be the intention out here is that all the site work would be done prior to any houses being built. And then that whole area would be stabilized. So there would be a grass mix that would be proposed on any sort of grading that's occurring on this lot here. Once that has been stabilized, then a developer will be coming in to do the house footprint itself and then anything septic related.
So that slope that I'm seeing that goes from 406 to 394 in the easement, that is proposed to be just a grass slope?
Yes, and then I believe also Andy mentioned too during construction that they could use, I believe it was the stump grindings or like a bark type of mulch. I can reconfirm with him on that if he's not present tonight.
Yeah, I mean, but John, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Andy. I had to jump on my phone. I got sidetracked earlier, but yeah. So to John's point, it's Andy from Pine Sand. But we would prep that slope and seed that and install the retaining wall and the leaching basin and stabilize that rear area so that the builder would take it from there, if that answers the question.
Yeah, it answers the question. I would prefer it not be seeded. I would prefer that area to be planted in a material that won't be will make the slope kind of unusable or unused, maybe like a ground cover or something like that. I just don't know on that sandy soil, the gravelly soil, whether it's going to grow good grass enough to hold back the erosion which may occur.
I think, Steve, that area after the water line went through, we loamed and seeded that, and I think that grew extremely well. Which was just hydroseeded with an erosion slope mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steve could talk to that.
Well, it was an erosion, like a slope seed mix anyway. It
Yeah.
was
Same
right.
type- Same type of slope on that?
As
Excuse
far
me?
as the,
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, as far as the slope that's being proposed right now, it is 3-to-1. So that there shouldn't be any real concerns for erosion. It is a little bit steep, or sorry, a little bit shallower than what the existing grades are. I believe in any past discussion, existing grades were about 2.5-to-1, which is why we are kind of chasing them down the hill there.
Timing is everything on seeding, obviously. So, I mean, would you stand behind reseeding if it doesn't come in well enough?
Yes.
Yeah, we wouldn't
Is
give,
it-
we wouldn't give a certificate of compliance if there was, it was unstable too.
Yeah, I mean, because if this is seeded in midsummer, you're not going to get anything. If it's seeded in the fall, you might get a good catch.
Okay, board, anything else? Do we want to do any special conditions for this hearing, number 18?
He
Well-
offered up using stump grindings, and I would include that as a special condition that he installs stump grindings along the silt fence or along the erosion control barrier.
Okay,
Along with the reseeding of the slope if necessary.
okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments in regards to this hearing? Lot number 18. Just all of us here, I guess. Okay. Board, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing,
So moved.
8:01 PM. And then I'll entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions with the special conditions.
We got to vote on the public hearing.
Oh, sorry.
Second,
There's a second by Mike. Was that Mike?
Mike, yes.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Art Potman, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Art. Okay. Issuing the order. Somebody want to do that? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, could I hear a motion to issue this order of conditions? With the special conditions? As mentioned?
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second,
Come on. Second by Mike?
yep.
Okay, roll call vote.
Art Potman, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much, board. Okay,
Thank you.
moving on.
So I will share, bear with me one moment here, for lot 19 as well.
Okay, one moment. So next item on the agenda is at 8:02 PM, and it is the public hearing continued for the notice of intent Joseph Road, lot number 19. That's 1008.
All right, and I have lot 19 up here. Is everybody able to see this lot?
Yes,
All right, great.
let's zoom in. Super.
So with this one here, somewhat of a similar situation. We were able to acquire a building footprint for this particular lot. It is the same footprint that we are going to be using on lot 18 for it. With this one here, we did, again, try to keep everything tucked as close as possible towards the right-of-way. And then with this lot, in terms of the grading, because of the slightly longer footprint and where the was going to be ending up, we are proposing just a very shallow 4 foot or less retaining wall located right here. The rest of this area would just be blended in at existing grade. We are down to an elevation of that is 402 right here, and then it is sloping to 400 here, so water should be flowing this way, as well as a slightly higher elevation at 402.75, give or take, up by the house, just so we have a very gradual slope coming away from the house. With this one here, we are going to be proposing, again, a dry well just to help offset any potential impacts that the commission might be concerned with. As of right now, erosion control and tree line is the same as it was in the last meeting. We just, again, we're working with the constraints that we had to try to provide a little bit more of a safer area around the deck, in particular if they did have any sort of stairs or anything, so that they can navigate around there. And then also too, with this footprint here, because we did get a little bit on the thinner side, I guess, in terms of width, if that's a best way of putting it, we did slide the house closer to lot 18, just to provide a little extra space over here, again, just so that this homeowner can have that usable yard space. And then that's really all that's occurred for changes on this particular lot. With also, sorry, the post and rail fence being proposed as that delineation.
So this is the same reduction in square footage?
Yes, all of them were originally proposed as about 60 by 30s. This is now being proposed as about 38 by 25 or so, to total about 1,600 or so square feet.
Nice. Did you move the house further back, or is the footprint just longer?
The footprint is slightly longer, so it did get a little closer there, but we did not change anything in terms of the grading or where the erosion control or proposed tree line is. It got a little bit tighter in that back area, which is why we were looking to add in that very small retaining wall just to help out with some of the grades.
Understood.
Okay, anyone else on the board have any questions or comments on lot number 19?
Is there a detail for the retaining wall on the plan?
I don't have one on the plan. It would be, I believe, a boulder wall, but Andy and Jim could provide some more information with regards to that. If we did have to provide a detail, I could have like a 1 sheet 8.5 by 11 if the commission's acceptable to that. Or I could have it added to the plan with the PDFs dropped into the Google Drive or sent over via hard copy. But currently, we don't have anything shown for that.
John, I was Andy here. I was envisioning a modular block wall. I mean, some of the members may have heard of them as Versalock or something like that.
Nice.
We do have a typical detail for that if the commission would need to see that on any of the plans. But as I mentioned, as of right now, we don't have anything to reflect a modular block.
Is that like a tumbled concrete product?
Andy?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, it's like the Unilock stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah. That's just another trade name, yeah, Unilock, Versalock.
Yeah, it's a tumbled concrete. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. They add dyes to it to make different colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd say that because it's in the buffer zone, I would prefer to see it on the plan. That's my opinion.
And I can have that plan revised and resent back over to the commission offices, or just dropped into the Google Drive as soon as tomorrow for you guys.
Okay. Thank you. I don't think that needs to hold anything up. I think
No.
once,
Was there any other particular questions or anything that the commission might have had for this lot?
we're fading fast. Okay, board, nothing?
Where are the bunny things?
Same condition, in my opinion, for this one as we had for 18.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments in regards to this lot number 19?
Be right back.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion been made.
Seconded.
Second by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Art Bobbity, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Manjamai,
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. That was 8:09 p.m.
All right, great, thank you.
Now I'll entertain a motion to issue the order with the same conditions as lot 18.
I move that we issue the order with the same special conditions as lot 18 for Joseph Road.
Okay, motion's been made.
I'll second that with the inclusion that with the plan should be amended to include that retaining wall.
Okay. Made and seconded, roll call vote.
Art Bobbity, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda at 8:10 is going to be lot number 20, 1009.
I got this.
And then I do have that plan up in front of us right now. No changes for this plan have occurred since the last meeting, but just since we do have it as a little bit of a closer up view here, we are proposing a berm at the top here of 401. And then it does have about a 5 to 10 foot flattish area before it meets both 400 grades on either side. And then from there, all the water is sloping towards the backs of the houses. And then there will be a small swale that will pick up everything, carry them across the lots over to that detention area as previously mentioned. We do not have any sort of runoff that would be going down towards the wetland area for these lots.
Okay, board, has he addressed all the issues from the last time? Was this lot was pretty, you were satisfied with this one? From last meeting? Okay. Board, any other comments for number 20? One second, please. Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments in regards to this hearing number 20? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
For lot number
Seconded.
20. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Bobbity, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. And I'll entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for lot 20.
I move we issue an order of condition, the normal orders of conditions for lot 20 and Joseph Road.
Motion's been made.
Seconded.
Seconded, roll call vote.
Art Bobbity, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you.
8:13 p.m. Next item on the agenda is public hearing NOI Joseph Road, lot number 21, JMT Sleepy Hollow.
And up in front of me right now is lot 21. Similar situation with lot 20. The berm does run along the back of the lot. 401 is the high point, 400 on either side of it. It gives about a 10-foot, give or take, area up at the top. All water is going to flow from that point towards the houses and then away from the houses, collect in a small swale, travel across the lots towards the detention area. Anything else would be captured into the roadway system at that point. No impacts or anything to the wetland areas downstream.
Okay, great. And board, same as before, you're pretty satisfied with the revisions from last meeting for this lot?
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to 21? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for lot 21.
So moved.
Seconded.
Made and seconded, roll call vote.
Art Pompey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for lot number 21.
And move that we issue an order of conditions for lot 21 Joseph Road.
Second.
Made, seconded by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Art Pompey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Okay, 8:15 p.m. Next item on the agenda is public hearing 1011, lot number 22, JMT Sleepy Hollow.
And then for this lot here, similar to both 20 and 21, we did revise grading on it. Everything is going to be flowing again towards the house from the hillside here, flowing away from the house into a small swale, collected and then put into the detention area. Anything in the front portion of the house will be directed towards the street system and then eventually into the detention area.
Okay, very nice. Board, any comments or questions on this lot?
These are all bulkheads now, no more walkouts, right?
No more walkouts are being proposed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this hearing? Do we have a person on the phone calling in for this? Not hearing you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded, 8:17 p.m. Roll call vote.
Art Pompey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
I move that we issue the order of conditions for lot 22 Joseph Road.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Pompey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Okay, last but not least, public hearing continued, NOI Joseph Road, lot number 23, it's 1012.
All right, great. I have 23 up in front of us right now. So with this lot here, no changes again since the last meeting, but Tracy, since you weren't here, we did end up initially having grading that did stretch out into where this riverfront buffer was. Currently, all the grading is terminated before that buffer. Tree line is left as it currently stands up to that point. And then we are still proposing 3-1 slopes along the backside, small swale to catch anything from the adjacent lots. The detention area is just to the north over here, and everything would be ultimately outfalling over there for it. And then, as mentioned, all these lots, no walkouts are being proposed for it. Everything is a bulkhead currently.
Okay, that was a good move with no riverfront area. So I appreciate that. Board, any other questions or comments on this lot?
Really quick, did you say the tree line was being retained?
However, the tree line currently is out there. No additional impacts or inside the riverfront buffer are being made to it.
Okay, thank you.
Does the water flow over that access drive, or is there a structure
Yes,
which takes
the
it?
intent would be for the water to flow over it. If we did have to put in a small pipe or something, in the event that it would erode anything there, we can work accordingly to do so.
Okay.
Okay, board, anything else on this one?
I would just say that maybe that should be a condition if he's offering to do that.
Okay, John, are you okay with that?
As of right now, we would like to keep it as overland flow, but if we do in the field see that there's the reason that we can't make that work, if the applicant is open to it, I'd be more than happy to oblige in that case. Jim, Andy, any thoughts for that?
No, I agree with you, John. That'd be fine.
Okay.
Okay, anyone in the audience, public, have any comments, questions on this? Not seeing anybody new. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close a public hearing for lot number 23, Joseph Road.
Okay, motion been made.
Second.
Mike Greco had the second on that, at 8:20 PM, roll call vote.
Art Mopney, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. And then, entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
I move we issue the order of conditions for lot 23, Joseph Road.
Motion's been made,
Second.
second by Mike, roll call vote.
Art Mopney, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all, much appreciated. As far as any additional hard copies to your office, in particular for lots 18 and 19 for that detail, Steve, how many would you need for that?
Just two plan
Two? Okay.
copies.
Sure.
I
And
don't
then,
have, if I need a final set of all, two final sets of everything, if you haven't sent it.
sure. I know that they've already been sent over. They should be sitting in the town's Dropbox right now, but we'll make sure we do get those additional 2 lots over to you with those corrections.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next item on the agenda is going to be the RDA. It is 8:22 PM. RDA Woodland Road,
I'm
possible
gonna move the
votes.
dog bed in the mud.
Let me just get back to mine. So, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Woodland Road on March 15th, 2021 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 people seat for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw. The Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the proposed request for determination of applicability work location is Woodland Road, Douglas, and the applicant is requesting permission to complete soil testing for project design utilizing site conditions. Public participation will be via virtual means only pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Douglas Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website. At least 48 hours prior to the meeting, copies of the documents may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205. Okay. So we've got a little plan up. Steve, and anyone here presenting? Jack.
Yeah, this is Jack Nealon, representing Deer Crossing Development, and I believe Dave Marquardt is on as well, who drew the plan.
Okay. What are you requesting in this
I'm okay.
RDA?
So we are looking to cross the wetland for about 36 hours, 24 hours to go back and do some soil sampling as designated on the plan. Woodland Road continues to run on where those soil pits are, and we're just we're going to do some examining to see what we're getting ourselves into. So we figured we'd take advantage of the frozen ground to cross right beyond where the road ends now, and then make our way up back for the day to just dig those pits and then remove ourselves.
Okay. So it's is it flowing right now at all? Is it wet at all?
It is not flowing right now, no. I believe Steve walked it on Saturday as well.
Okay. I'm just getting back there.
What kind of equipment will you be using?
Yeah, so it's a mini excavator with a rubber track and about a 2.5 foot bucket, which is probably the smallest we can use to actually get back there and get what work we need done in a day. But I sent a picture of the machine to Steve today, so I don't expect him to have it up. But it's just a mini excavator from Koopman's Lumber. You guys can go down and take a look.
Bobcat type of thing?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Board, any questions on the?
So you're gonna do this within like 24 or 48 hours. So you're gonna have a chance to do this before it warms up again?
Yeah, we're actually doing it on Thursday, and we think we should be done by the end of the day Thursday. But if not, maybe the last 2 holes on Friday morning, depending on how it goes getting over there.
Thursday is supposed to be 55 degrees.
Thursday is, yeah.
Yes.
So are you planning to cut any trees down or knock any trees down?
We don't think we'll have to in the where the wetlands crossing is. If anything, we'll just have to probably limit so we don't scratch the operator or the machine. But we're not gonna have to take down any trees. It's only 70 inches wide, the machine, so it's kind of like taking a small car through there.
Yeah, I would prefer if there is not any trees knocked over or like minimal damage.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we anticipate on clearing any trees.
Okay. Board, any other comments or questions on this? It's temporary impact for soil testing.
I mean, I guess I'm just pushing on if it's dry enough, because it's gonna be it's gonna be 40 tomorrow, 51 on Wednesday, and 55 on Thursday, and it's not freezing overnight. So this is gonna be very soft by Thursday.
Oh, are you going to be using logging mats?
We're going to be putting logs where the crossing of the actual wetland is.
And then you're going to take those back out?
Yeah, yeah, we're literally just going across for a day to do soil sampling, and we're gonna come right back across and take everything back with us.
The machine already there?
The machine we're picking up on Thursday morning, and we're having it picked back up on Friday morning.
Well, it is temporary for soil testing. And what's the width at that location?
Of the stream crossing.
Yeah.
Steve just had it up on his video. It's
intermittent at best.
Yeah, I can bring it up again. The stream actually goes underground.
Right.
Let me see if I can. Yeah. So this is pretty much the stream right here. I'm walking right on top of it. You can see I'll pan, so it goes, this is really, I'm in the wetland right now. It's not really flowing too well. It's all with the roots and everything. I think I take a picture of it. Yeah, you can kind of see some water flowing. There's a lot of rock and cobble, so the stream is flowing underground at that point. And then I come up and I'm out of the wetland right now. So it's really just, this is it right here. This is the crossing right here. I think with the roots and the rocks, and he puts some logs down with the rubber tires, for one day, I don't think he's gonna have too much trouble.
All right, I would agree. Board?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Eric, anything?
I'm okay.
Okay, Mark,
No problem.
Mike,
Okay.
okay, Katie Grace?
Yeah, no, I think I'll be fine with it as long as, you get the logs in and out, that's fine. And I would say no removal of any trees over 2 inches.
Yeah, I would just do none. I think that there's spot that they can get through.
Okay.
So on that crossing. Okay. Jack?
Yeah, that sounds great for us. Thank you. Thank you very much, and we'll know how we do.
Okay, and so I'll entertain a motion to issue a negative RDA.
Do we have to close a public meeting?
No.
No? Okay. Then I'll make a motion that we issue a negative RDA for Woodland Road.
Yep, and I'll second that, conditioned with the, no tree removal, and they're going to use those logs. They're going to do it Thursday.
So how, so Steve, we gotta get that drafted and everybody needs to sign it for Thursday.
Well, technically, if you issued a negative determination, they can go ahead and do the work right away, even without a signed permit.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. All right, motion been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Montmany, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
You have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, Steve, anything else?
Let's see, just give you a next meeting. It's 3 weeks. It's April 5th. And we have old business. We have the Cedar Street Bridge. On a new business, we have a notice of intent for 175 Southwest Main, a notice of intent for 35 Wallace Street, an addition off Bad Luck Pond, a new house off of Chestnut Street in NOI. Blackstone Logistics Center has filed. So that's Sutton, the Tri-Town Sutton, Uxbridge, and Douglas. And we have an ANRAD for 110 acres is going to be filed for off of Conservation Drive.
Wow.
So I'm gonna send that out. If I get the proposal, I talked to the gentleman, I set up a Google Drive, he dumped some stuff. It's an ANRAD, which is the wetland flagging.
Yep.
If I get permission, I'll send that off to Art Allen, maybe get a proposal,
Yes.
review the entire thing.
Perfect.
And then anything else, I'll probably try to hold off until the next meeting is May 17th after that.
Wow.
But I think this town meeting, that's why we don't have a meeting in, the first meeting in May.
Okay. Everybody gets a break.
So thank you for clearing up the, today's agenda.
What? Oh,
On
you're
on that logistics,
Which is great.
on that logistics center, where that warehouse project, the Tri-Town one, I was talking to a Uxbridge official and they said that some concerns might be because of what Rhode Island has done on 146 with all these tolls, that some of these truckers will be trying to avoid the tolls and will take local roads through our towns, which could cause safety and traffic issues, you know?
That is correct.
Yeah. So,
So our Rhode Island set up, they have the toll, the plate reading tolls now?
yeah, just for trucks right now. You know, they're saying it's not going to affect cars in the future, but I don't believe that. I remember when they built the New York Thruway and when they paid off the bonds, there was going to be no tolls, but that was 40 years ago and they're still paying tolls. So,
Yeah, we brought up that concern for the traffic portion. So they are looking into that.
I mean, I think, yeah, with regards to the filing in the commission is, I think there's, out of all three towns, we have probably the least amount of impact.
Yeah.
And we hardly have any work within our jurisdiction.
Mhm. The other thing was the camera, Steve.
Yeah, so I looked at that. So I found one for about $500 at Best Buy. I finally got through with Maria with the emails. Our communications was kind of off. We don't have an account, so I have to see if there's a compatible one at Staples. I think we have an account at. So, but I was able to I'm still using the one I have now, and able to fix some of the issues I have. So I'll try to get a proposal. Look at a spec I liked from the last I saw at Best Buy. See if Staples has it.
Do we want to just get things in motion? Do you want a motion to authorize, $600?
If you want, that'd be great.
Well, it's vital to the commission, especially when we're doing everything remote. And if we don't get a chance to go out there, it's the next best thing.
I agree.
Anybody else have any comments on this?
I agree.
Okay, so can I get a motion to
Sure.
authorize Steve up to $600 to purchase a new camera?
Yeah, I move that we authorize the conservation agent to spend up to $600 for a new camera.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's made, seconded by Mark. Roll call vote.
Our Many aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Oh, I thought you were going to say no. All right. Anyone else have anything?
Steve, on the ANRAD, is this that piece of property off of Conservation Drive that was going to be given to the town when they approved that
Crossing?
subdivision? And then it never did?
It is. So back in the 90s.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I was on the planning board at that time.
Oh, were you?
I believe so. Yes.
You were in the planning board back in the 90s, late 90s?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So when they had phase one of Conservation Drive up to the stream, this is what I know. So when they came in for phase two and did the culvert crossing, that was part of the proposal. Deeds were drafted, were drafted up. They're in the file, and they were never signed and submitted. Town never followed up on it at that time. And so,
So the land reverted back to the developer?
It never went to the town to begin with.
Never went to the town. He retained the rights to it.
He did. Right, so that crossing, and that all came up there was a big judiciary hearing back when I started about 18 years ago on those two lots, the crossing lots, riverfront lots.
Mm-hmm.
And that came up, and that's back when the state used to have, instead of going to Superior Court and DEP, they used to have, if you appealed at the DEP and that gets appealed, it goes to, they used to have a judiciary hearing.
Yeah.
Judges just set for conservation commissions. I think they abandoned that. And it went on for about 5 to 8 years. That whole area. I'm not sure what happened to it at this point, but the commission or the town never received it, just because they never followed through. The commission at the time in the 90s never followed through with making sure the paperwork was done.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame.
Okay, if that's it, I'll entertain 8:39.
I move to adjourn.
Second by Mike, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
PG Dudley, aye.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, board. Steve, just